I've been a fan of RWBY for about 4 years or so. I've been involved with the community well before I started my YouTube channel. So, as I see the community getting more and more toxic over the years, it truly saddens me because the RWBY fandom, in my opinion, used to be one of the most open and inviting and friendly fandoms out there. We, for example, would have the RWBY Reddit. You'd get someone new watching the show, posting about it, and there'd be a flood of comments welcoming that person to the fandom, asking what they thought and what theories they might have while not spoiling anything for them. It was an exciting time. Tons of theories posted there and tons of discussion going on. It's a far cry from how we see the RWBY Reddit now and how we see the RWBY community as a whole. Things have torn the community apart, from critics going a bit fanatical with their critiques, end up making threats to the creators and more so just hating and trolling on them. And actual criticism of the show is now being silenced because people white knight so hard that they don't even want to hear critiques that might have merit. It's an unfortunate circumstance, and looking back at the Reddit now, the RWBY Reddit, it is mostly a place of fan art being posted. There is a lack of discussions, a lack of theorizing, a lack of people posting there that they are now entering the fandom. It's very odd. What is happening to the RWBY community? That's what I want to find out, and I will be making more videos on RWBY coming up. And for now, we'll take a look at a certain thread where a distasteful piece of art was posted, and the thread ended up being locked because, well, the fandom just couldn't have casual discourse there. Nope. Lots of bashing people because their ideas were different, lots of downvoting, lots of hate, and ultimately the thread was locked. We'll be taking a look at that thread in today's video. I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so what's going to go on in this video is we're going to take a look at the RWBY Reddit, at the thread in question, where a certain comedic piece of art was posted in comic fashion. You have a few panels, and I'm not going to show the image, the art on my video because I'm a bit paranoid right now. I'm already dealing with what I believe to be one false copyright strike, and I'm prepared to defend myself against that if need be, and it might come to that, we'll see. So I don't want to have to deal with another potential BS copyright strike and, you know, suing that person as well. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not going to show the art in this video just because I don't want to deal with that, even if I would show it for 5 seconds. I don't know this artist. To their credit, maybe they wouldn't do that, but I don't know them. Maybe they would. So I'm just not going to show the art. If you want to see it, link in the description, but here's what the art is. So one panel shows who I believe to be Miles and Carrie. Carrie says, "Should we write in a reference to Qrow's voice changing?" Or Miles says, Then it cuts to Qrow and Yang. Yang says, "Hey, Uncle Qrow." Qrow says, "What?" And Yang punches Qrow in the throat. Blood comes out of Qrow's mouth. Qrow says, "This is actually better." And Yang says, "You're welcome." So it's comedic, not that big of a deal, kind of, but the art does throw a little bit of shade at Qrow, or I'm sorry, at Vic rather, I believe, because, well, why would Qrow say this is better? Kind of implying that a new VA will do a better job than Vic, but of course it's up for your own interpretation. That said, the Reddit thread is really what I want to take a look at here because, well, anyone who voiced an opinion of supporting Vic, or even not supporting Vic, but questioning the merit of his termination, downvoted, hated on, attacked, and ultimately the thread was locked. So we're going to take a look at all that. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments now. First, the moderators. For transparency, let's see what the mod said. "Since you people can't be cool, locked." Another mod chimes in, says, "This is why we can't have nice things." Redirect the rest of the Vic talk to the mega thread. By the way, that mega thread, oh boy, don't even get me started on that. So I'm going to scroll down here, but I'm not going to do it with the screen cap on because I know as a viewer, sometimes when like there's a lot of text scrolling fast, it can look weird, right? So I don't want to give anyone a headache or anything like that. So let me scroll down, and I'm going to show you some of the points of contention here where things get rather interesting, to put it nicely. And here is the start of one of the comment chains that I want to take a look at. Okay, so this guy says they changed Qrow's voice actor. Why? This dude says, His VA has a history of misconduct and harassment allegations, which recently got more headwind. He was fired from RWBY and Funimation a couple months back. So to this person's credit, not the worst post. I mean, yeah, there is a somewhat of a history of misconduct and harassment allegations, but it's really blown out of proportion. I mean, you really have like one website that links to a bunch of nonsense. And I'm referring to the Tumblr blog that compiled all the so-called evidence against Vic. That evidence is people's anonymous accounts posting blogs, totally not credible at all, and YouTube search results that don't even actually provide evidence to what the blog is saying. What I'm saying is the blog says there's a bunch of videos of Vic kissing underage girls on YouTube. You click the link and it takes you just to a YouTube search, Vic kissing girls or something like that, and none of the videos actually back up what that blog is saying. The blog is trash. And that's pretty much the case for a number of these allegations that go years back. It's just anonymous people that are not credible at all. It's a joke. It really is. So then we get someone reasonable here, gets downvoted, -8. Of course they get downvoted. Alleged misconduct or harassment. Practically all of these allegations were either proven false or fabricated or had no evidence to support them. People go on a witch hunt at the first sign of a possible witch, pretty much. But of course, oh, the Reddit hive mind didn't like that one. Downvote. Oh, I'm so mad. Downvote, 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 downvote. Get another reply here. What sounds more likely to you? That one dude got a bit too touchy-feely with fans? Or that there's some vast conspiracy to discredit this one random VA, that every single one of his colleagues and a whole lot of fans are in on it? No. You're looking at civil conspiracy between a party of, I don't know, maybe 4 to 8 people-ish. That's by no means all the fans and the people in the industry. Again, you have Kick Vic people blowing things out of proportion to discredit our side. They say, oh, it's a conspiracy. Oh, the Vic stands say that all the VAs are in on it. The whole industry is in on it. It's some vast conspiracy. No. It's civil conspiracy, a cause of action, and it's specifically, right now, 4 parties involved only, but there could be roughly, in my opinion, maybe 4 more added to that. We'll see in another litigation potentially, give or take some. So no, it's not every VA. It's not the industry. It's not all the fans. It's a select group of people that have a cliquey little circle jerk going on with each other, and that's that. Don't blow things out of proportion like you guys always do. Then you actually have a reasonable response here, and somehow this was not downvoted. I'm not going to assume the reason, but if someone's only evidence for him being a S-harasser is consensual hugs and pecks on the cheek, they need to brush up on the definition of harassment. Yeah, I'm surprised that actually didn't get downvoted to oblivion. I'm going to go assume that it's because it was kind of hidden through all this. Who knows, though? Who knows? At least that one didn't get wrecked. This dude, 39 upvotes, says, that's not even remotely true. Stop spreading misinfo about the post saying practically all of these allegations were either proven false or fabricated or had no evidence to support them. That is actually pretty true. I mean, look at what happened with ANN and some of these other allegations really are, yeah, they don't have evidence supporting them. Some have been proven false. The only one spreading misinfo is really this guy saying that's not even remotely true. I would say it's not entirely true, but by no means is it not remotely true. See, not entirely true, there's a big difference. Not entirely true means there is truth there, but it's not entirely true, right? Kind of being fair. But to say it's not even remotely true implies that it's just a bunch of nonsense. And it's certainly not nonsense when you have companies that had to redact photos and append their articles, and there's a massive lack of evidence with the allegations. And that's why we have litigation right now. If there was evidence with the accusations, there wouldn't be litigation because those statements wouldn't be defamatory. There would be evidence proving them to be true, and the biggest defense to defamation is truth. So the fact that there's a defamation case on top of the civil conspiracy and the other causes of action proves otherwise. But of course, the Reddit hive mind would not agree with that. So this user then replies, respectfully applying logic to the situation, and what does that get him? -2 downvotes. It's really not, though. Other than the allegations, there has been no corroborating evidence. Some anonymous people say he made them uncomfortable over the years, not crimes. Meanwhile, some voice actresses alleged misconduct with no evidence other than their own testimony. It's a blatant he said, she said situation. And it comes down to who you find to be more credible. You have Vic, who in my personal opinion has been very professional throughout everything to try and salvage his tarnished reputation. And meanwhile, you have the accuser, voice actress Rial, and her fiance, who literally harassed the manager of KamehamehaCon over the phone for hours via nonstop calls and text in an attempt to make sure that Vic would not appear when invited to come. These people are super immature and are out for blood. Marchie saying she wants to literally castrate him now of all times, and for some reason, the events allegedly happened years ago, supposedly. So he makes good points, but he gets downvoted, and of course nobody even actually replies to him because the people who downvoted can't actually refute this because they can't actually make a good point themselves. So what do? They just go and hit that little downvote button and move on. But of course they don't move on entirely because they keep them in their mind. They're all upset and, all that sort of stuff. Let's see another comment here. And let's not forget how some of them are even going after Vic's mother and even a YouTuber's child, trying to get her removed from the YouTuber's care just because he supports Vic. So of course he must be a danger to her. Referring to the Tug situation from a few weeks ago when he was getting CPS called on him. It's crazy what Kick Vic has been doing. And luckily that post actually has 17 upvotes. So I'm starting to see something interesting here. You have like the first set of posts getting downvoted heavily, but then it's like the snowflakes are too lazy to read the responses, or they're too triggered so they don't. And then when you get like deeper in the thread, deeper in the responses, that's where the reasonable people start to surface, start to upvote things, because the fragile snowflakes just downvote and move on. Meanwhile, the respectable people are having discourse and start getting the upvotes finally. So I think maybe that's the theory here. I am not entirely sure, but let's see what we have here. How exactly do you know that's not the case in reference to the post about the evidence or lack of evidence? Disprove this negative I posted. I think they're memeing the I Stand with Vic dude, telling him to disprove it. Then you get a video linked here, and it's actually, I already checked it out, a Yellow Flash video, shouts out. How about this video explaining exactly my point? Edit, and the crowd goes silent. Gee, I never thought I'd see a Kick Vic member operate in my own comments. I don't know what that comment part is, because I'm sure that that's not Yellow Flash's Reddit account. I don't think Flash watches RWBY, let alone goes on the RWBY Reddit. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that's him, though. So that part's a little bit confusing. But the point is, the first part, and the crowd goes silent. That's how it is. Just like we saw above, where the user applied logic, and of course the snowflakes didn't respond because they just don't know how, or they're scared, or both. And the same situations here. Logic is applied, and the snowflakes cry and run away. Whoa, we have a change of events here, though. The Stand With Vic people in the thread start rallying. Take a look at this. In the United States, the burden of proof is on the accusers. Rather than provide said proof, they've been working to interfere with the defamation lawsuit. If they had the evidence that Vic had done anything that constitutes misconduct, they would have presented it by now. So for all they've had are all images of Vic with third parties, and said third parties have all come out and said it was consensual. Face facts. There are people willing to lie about an innocent man to drive him out of business, and it's disgusting that anyone wants to see an innocent man ruined. And a lot of us do think that they even had worse intentions than simply to remove him from the industry. But of course, that is an opinion. Next comment chain. In response to the face facts, there are people willing to lie about an innocent man to drive him out of business, and it's disgusting that anyone wants to see an innocent man's life be ruined comment. We have a response saying, I found a book that teaches people how to do that. Needless to say, I lost my faith in humanity again. Referring to that book, I forget the name of it. What was it called again? It was like How to Ruin a Man or something. Tug did a whole live stream where he looked at the book, and I watched the whole thing, but I'm forgetting the name of the book right now. But yeah, it's basically a book that explains entirely how to falsely accuse a man and get away with it, basically. Then you have a response here. Here is actually, yeah, like I said, I Stand With Vic rallying. This person actually gets 21 downvotes. I'm shocked, but we had to go pretty much to the bottom of the thread to see this. I'm going to give you a warning. I'm going to scroll this up right now. If you don't want to see me do that, look away from the screen for about 5 seconds. But guys, look how far in the thread we are to get to this point, okay? Oh my goodness gracious. And a lot of these have more responses that I didn't click to look at, So we had to go through all this to finally get some headway there. Okay. So this snowflake says, so that's a no. People like you disgust me. Going around spreading vicious lies, trying to ruin Monica Real's career without any evidence. You really are an effing scumbag. Since you seem confused, moron. That's not how defamation lawsuits work. Vic is suing. The burden of proof is on him. He has to prove that he didn't actually assault her or anyone, and that the claims made were knowingly false with the express intention of ruining his career. Nobody is trying to interfere with it because they have nothing to fear from it besides a waste of time. There's a reason S-harassers always threaten lawsuits. It's a good PR move that idiots like you lap up. There's a reason they never go through with it. It's a monumentally stupid legal move that they've guaranteed to lose. Sadly for Vic, he didn't seem to get the memo. Yeah, let's take legal advice from the person who doesn't even know how the burden of proof works in a defamation lawsuit. What a joke. And the response covers that pretty dang well, so let's take a look at the response. Here we are. Yes, it actually is how defamation lawsuits work. A group of people made several allegations towards Mignogna on Twitter, which has resulted in Vic losing several job prospects and being fired from jobs he already had at other companies. Vic is suing Monica and some of her associates for defamation. Vic saying, "I didn't do these things" under oath is all he needs to do, and the burden of proof will shift back to Rials and friends, where they will be forced to provide substantial evidence to back up their allegations. Innocent until proven guilty exists, so that you can't accuse a man of a crime without being able to back it up. A man or a woman, I'll add. Vic is suing for defamation, has evidence of multiple defamatory statements, and said statements have resulted in visible harm to his career. In other words, damages, due to his employment at various companies being terminated. Rial and friends are going to have to prove that everything they've claimed about Vic is true, and all of it is going to be under oath. Now then, I'm going to calmly and politely ask you to cease claiming that people have mental disabilities. Very nice and respectful, and painted out the truth there, and even asked the person to stop being so insensitive and insulting. And of course, that person didn't respond. What was their name? Disappointed in them? That's pretty fitting, actually. Oh, whoa, what's this? Serial S-harasser whose actions over the course of a decade finally caught up to them? Alleged. Most, if not all, which are proven false or intentionally fabricated. Disappointed in you? What the heck? I didn't realize it was April Fool's already. Okay, interesting. But let's go back to this one. So yeah, this guy makes a lot of good points, but just for the sake of filling my viewers in to the full story, you know, it's more than a defamation suit. The other causes of action, just to recap really quick, you got civil conspiracy, you've got tortious interference with the contract and tortious interference with business prospects. Vicarious liability is not a cause of action, and it's in the filing because it associates these free agents, so to speak, with Funimation. So that's what the vicarious liability is about, and that can also play a role into, hypothetically, a RT litigation down the road, for example. But if I was about to get your hopes up, if it was Christmas Eve and your chimney was empty and you put your hopes in there, we would fast forward a week and it would be burning on fire. The point is this. Just take a look. Wasn't he proven innocent? Not yet. He's in the middle of a deformation case against a bunch of people. Result yet to be decided. Only technically, he has absolutely no chance of winning because defamation doesn't actually work like that. It's more for show than anything else. Isn't this the same dude? Yeah, disappointed in them. The same clown who didn't know what was going on above. Well, they're back at it again. This time they got 19 downvotes. Yeah, I have no idea what the heck is going on in this thread anymore. I really don't. It is just weird. It's straight up weird. You know what? Here's another theory. The moderators ended up locking this thread. What if originally this thread was like super kick Vic, and then as we saw, like later on in the thread, I Stand With Vic starts getting some traction, and that's when the moderators locked it. Maybe that's the theory here, guys. That could actually be the case. Continuing on, and my eyes just caught my name. I actually got a little bit of a shout out in this thread. Hey, thank you so much. Wait, where did I see it? Where did I see it? Right here. Most notably, HeroHei and Redacted Law. Spoderman. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Spoderman. I appreciate that, bro. That's some good stuff. But before we get there, let's continue. We left off right about here. Not with some of the stuff that has come out online a while ago. There was a screenshot of them discussing if they should Photoshop images of him. This was way back, like 3 months ago, to create it worse along with stuff that is the base of the deformation case. Deformation case. Alrighty. Oh, too far. Huh, okay. I haven't heard much about it, but from what I've been told, I have hopes he's innocent, and I believe in innocent until proven guilty. Spoderman chiming in here. My dude, what's up? The allegations were all just that. Allegations. That's why he's suing for defamation. If you'd like to know more, on YouTube, a lot of people have been covering the story. Most notably, HeroHei and Redacted Law. Even Noble from Lost Pause covered a lot of the stories and allegations. It just doesn't hold up, like, at all. Agreed. My only issue with these people, especially Noble, is that none of them are non-biased people. or even close to non-biased. Excuse me. Why are we not? What do you mean? How are we non-biased? How are we not non-biased? I'm just curious. I mean, maybe he's right. I might be a little biased, but not really. Because if I was actually biased, my bias would be with Kick Vic, homie. You want to know why? I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. I grew up with Goku. You think I wanted to see Sean do the shit that he did? I love Funimation. I grew up with Funimation. You think I want to see Funimation burning to the ground? Well, that's debatable now. But the point is, if I could have just had this whole thing not happen, I would much prefer that, most likely. Although, at the end of the day, I'm glad that the industry is getting exposed for the corrupt shenanigans that's been going on. But my point is, you can't say I'm biased for standing with Vic when I have much more of a love for Sean Schemmel than Vic Mignogna as a voice actor. No shade at Vic. It's just I didn't really know much about Vic. I never watched FMA. I was never really a fan of Broly, to be honest. And he's done other works that I just never saw him in. The only role is Qrow. And I like Qrow. I love Goku. I love these other characters that Funimation has worked on. I love All Might, dude. That's Chris Sabat. I freaking love All Might, dude. Look, I have a poster of All Might right there. I love RWBY. I have 2 RWBY posters. I have signatures on that one. If you're gonna say I'm biased for the people that we're going against, and I'm still going against them because it's the right freaking thing to do, homie. Don't you ever call me biased in that manner without actually fact-checking yourself, fool. One of the big things, though, was over a jelly bean. Apparently, Monica Real had signed one, and Vic ate it, and then had a bit of witnesses in him and said, oh, I just ate Monica. And that's one of the alleged S assaults. Okay, definitely a weird way of wording the story, but we know what you're talking about. I mean, I never literally heard about this until you just mentioned it, so it's clearly not that major. When the decision to kick Vic was made, it was mostly about him getting too handsy at conventions. No proof, by the way. Which is something that would get you thrown out of RTX. He's been accused of harassing fans for like a decade, and the story I've seen Monica tell on her Twitter was a story of real harassment. No clue where the jelly bean thing came from. Well, let me fill you in a second. And even if it's a real story, she told it wasn't the center of her case. Except that it is the center of her case, because that's literally what she complained to HR about. It came out in Discovery. Here you go, whack job, take a look. Barely a week later, Tammy Denbo, a Sony executive, informed Vic she was investigating 3 allegations of S harassment against him. 1, Monica alleged to have occurred 6 years prior at a convention, not any Funimation or Sony facility or event, when after she wrote her name on a jelly bean and gave it to him, Vic ate the jelly bean and joked that he ate Monica. Vic denied any S suggestion. He was joking. It was just a joke. Another alleged inappropriate conduct between Vic and 2 fans, not Funimation or Sony employees at a convention 3 years prior. And lastly, a 3rd allegation involving a single consensual kiss between Vic and a Funimation employee who was Vic's friend. And by the way, he denied the 2nd allegation. I should mention that Vic empathetically denied any inappropriate conduct. So for you to say it's not relevant when that's literally what HR had in Discovery, there was no, the story that Monica made, that wasn't in Discovery. Any evidence supporting her claims, her allegations, that didn't come out in Discovery. What came out in Discovery? This bullshiz jelly bean story. What clown world are we living in? That wasn't a big thing until Vic Stan started bringing it up whenever these allegations or Real are mentioned as a way to try to downplay the other allegations. I mean, you're not wrong about the downplay thing. It definitely downplays them because this is the factual evidence that came out in Discovery. An accusation against Vic made to HR about a jelly bean. What nonsense is that? And why are we bringing it up? Because it's relevant, and it wasn't a story we knew about until it came out in Discovery. Why didn't Monica tell us about that one? Did you try asking yourself that? Why did it only come out in Discovery? Monica must have been pretty embarrassed about that if she willingly withheld that information when she was going off with all these other allegations against Vic, ones that don't have any evidence behind them, and the only one that does have evidence behind it is the jelly bean story. So why didn't she share that one? Why did she omit the truthful allegation? And what can we assume about the other allegations if that one is true? And that's really it. That's the end of the thread. The last really downvoted comments are kind of nothing burgers. There's no replies, really. You got this one. Negative 41 downvotes. Oh, my God. Either rehire Vic or say Qrow DIED from alcohol poisoning. Minus 25 downvotes on this. Nah, just made Qrow absent for the rest of the show due to off-screen allegations. It's kind of funny, actually. I mean, sad and messed up, but you know. This one, minus 51 downvotes. Holy smokes. Y'all are crazy. If they change the VA for Qrow, it will be awful. Well, they already did change it, but I mean, I agree. I don't think another VA can really do Qrow, to be honest. A lot of the arguments against that, a lot of the arguments that people say that, oh, any VA can do it, or any VA that can do like a deep, gruff voice can do Qrow, is wrong, because Qrow doesn't always have the deep, gruffy voice. There are times in the show where Qrow has a much higher pitch. Like, Vic has a very good range. He can go high, he can go low, he can go scruffy, he can go gruffy, he can go soft. And that range is very important for Qrow. Can another VA do that? Maybe. But I don't think the suggestions that Kick Vic are promoting are necessarily good, because they just spout that same thing. Any VA who can do a gruffy, deep voice can fill in Qrow for a new VA. No, that's not the case. Anyways, let's start wrapping this one up. Got some shout outs here for the video. If you like Shield Hero, you're a misogynistic incel according to Woke Twitter. Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's a pretty funny one. You'll probably like it if you like this one. On that note, definitely subscribe if you're not already. Turn that notification bell on so your subscription can actually work. And again, shout outs for that video. We got Daniel Jack, Nick the Otaku, Elliot Bechtel, Toy Bounty Hunters, what's up TBH, Paragon Langston of Amped Guard, thank you homies, I appreciate it very much. Hope you enjoyed that video, and if you're watching this one too, I hope you enjoyed this one. On that note, leave some comments down below, tell me your thoughts, join the Discord if you're not in there yet. 3K members over that now, it's pretty sick, and if you'd like to become a sponsor for this channel, consider donating through Patreon, or if you'd like to simply show some support for this channel, consider sending a one-time donation through Streamlabs or PayPal. Links for both below, and I'll see you next time.